All right. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Cards. I believe this is episode 12. So if you enjoyed this conversation I have today, please go back and check out some of the other ones. Today on the show, I have a special guest. It's Steve. His channel is called Vintage on Vintage. Welcome, Steve.
Hey, Theo, thanks. I appreciate you having me.
No problem. I always like having people on here that enjoy the series, and you've been watching them from the beginning. So I really thank you for the support you've given me.
Oh, I love the concept, Theo. This concept's fantastic. Because you get the reason we're doing this, right, is to kind of meet other collectors because we don't know them, and you end up doing comments with them. But in this kind of series, you get to kind of meet them and know a little bit more about them. So anybody who hasn't watched the other 11, watch them. It's well worth it. So
Thanks, man. So getting into it a little bit here. Yeah, this is the first time we're actually like communicating verbally. We've only communicated through comments before, so it's kind of cool to get to talk to you. And so I always wondered, your channel's called Vintage on Vintage. Are you calling yourself old, or is it some other reference? I wasn't sure exactly.
that's exactly what I'm calling myself. So when I decided to do this, I was thinking about doing it when I retired, but I'm a ways away still from retiring. So when I told my kids, they thought it was a great idea. So I was looking for names and I said, what about vintage on vintage? Because I'm old. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm older than most of the cards. Most of my cards range from the 60s to the 90s, and I'm older than anything past 1960. So
That's all right. That's cool, man. So you mentioned your kids were like, so what's your family think about you having your own channel then? They were very supportive of it, I'm guessing.
yeah, they are. I mean, it's funny because my youngest daughter helped me a lot in the beginning with the posting and the editing until she finally made me grow up and do it myself, which is good. Um, but yeah, the funny thing is, all three of my daughters, at least five or six of their friends, subscribe to the channel. And every once in a while, my one of my daughters will be like, "Hey, your dad posted another video," and they'll know it before their friends will tell them before I tell them. So yeah, they're very supportive. All of them are my family, my wife. They're all supportive of the hobby.
That's really cool. What is the weird part for my wife has been having friends on YouTube, or I don't. It's kind of a weird friendship to have, I guess you could call it. It's not common. So what's your family think about your YouTube friends? Is it weird for them, or?
Well, it's funny because I grew up in California and then I moved to Chicago. So I've been doing fantasy football with guys that are based in California. This will be our 44th year. Our 44th year of doing fantasy football. So they're used to me having them buddies that aren't really in the area. So
Okay.
it's no different with the YouTube buddies, right? It's just a little different concept.
That's awesome. Awesome. Me and my friends from high school and middle school, we've been in the league for 20 years now. We meet up every year still for the draft, which is really fun.
We
Um,
do too. Yeah, we do a live draft. We do it actually the day before the kickoff. And so then the next
oh,
morning, even though there's a Thursday game, which kind of you have to give points for, the next morning we all just give each other a hard time that first day, right? So yeah, and our group is the same. We were all high school and college buddies, and we've been together now 40 something years, and the majority of the teams are still the same teams from day one. So it's cool.
that is cool. So whose channels did you first find and start watching and kind of get you on? Like some people didn't know YouTube had cards. So like how did you get in the realm of even being a watcher first, I guess?
Same theory, right? COVID hit. I was a little bored, pulled out my baseball cards, went online, and then I realized there were some YouTube channels to start watching. So I watch a lot of channels. I enjoy a lot of channels. Think you start out with some of the less vintage channels, but one of the first ones I remember watching, and I know you watch him, is Talking Ball Cards with Paparazzi. I
Hmm.
just I think he's a funny guy. I like pickups. What I like to see is I like people that will show me either their latest pickups. I love to see SGC or PSA returns, and then I love people that tell stories behind the cards. That's kind of where I'm trying to go to a little bit more, tell some of the stories behind the cards. So love that one. Terry at TJ Maxx, I love his stuff. His stories are fantastic. So, but there's, I could spend the next hour telling you, and you watch all of them too, because I see your comments on them.
Yeah.
So,
so do you, I'm trying to think, do you know who your first subscriber was by chance, or you're not 100% sure whenever you started?
I'm pretty sure it was one of my daughters, to be honest with you.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's really cool.
But I do know that a couple of the first shout outs that I got, right? Vintage Card Steve was one of the first shout outs that I got. And, it helped me pick up 10 or 12 subscribers right then and there. So, and there were a couple other along the way that gave me some shout outs that was kind of a shock, right? You're sitting there at about 20 to 30 subscribers. You don't think anybody's watching you.
No.
And then somebody with, 2, 3, 400 will pop up and say, hey, you should watch this guy. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool how people support each other. I agree. So I don't know if it was me or I forget, somehow you ended up showing your face on a video. Like it took you like literally maybe 8 months. So did you always have the plan that you didn't want to show yourself ever? Like what I guess what happened with that transformation?
So my kids were hounding me. They said, you need to show your face. People want to know what you look like. I'm like, no, they don't. They just want to see my cards, right? So so I did it. I still don't love it. And I tend to do the hand modeling videos versus what you do now where it's facing you. Probably because, just in practicing for this, it's really hard to hold up the cards and share them. But my kids were hounding me to do it. So every once in a while, about every 3 or 4 videos, I give the obligatory face shot.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. I personally do see like with SGC reveals, I personally prefer the hand modeling camera angle. I feel like you can see the cards a lot better. So like I had a recent SGC reveal where I kept that camera angle. I honestly wish, and I'm just haven't done enough research on it. I honestly wish there's an app, I guess, where your phone can get both cameras working at the same time. And I know Chris from Missouri uses it. And I honestly just need to do a little bit of research because I would honestly love on an SGC reveal where maybe my face is like in a very small corner and then the cards are on the bigger screen. I think that would probably be the best of both worlds, but
yeah, I think you can do it automatically with your iPhone. I'm gonna ask my daughter actually. Like I watch Sammy Thunder and he does it all the time, right? He's got his reveal, he's got his little picture up in the corner, and I would agree with you. That's about as much of my face as you're gonna want to see anyway.
So you mentioned COVID. So I'm guessing did you completely stop in the hobby for a good long period and then COVID kind of brought you back in like a lot of us? Is that what happened? Or
yeah, I did. I collected as a kid from say like 69 to about 75, 76, and then I'm in high school and got cars, and I still picked up cards occasionally. And then in the late 80s, I got back into it for a few years. Griffey, Bonds, the 89, right? And I picked up some of the early 80s. And then I focused on my career, met my wife, raised a family, and then I kind of got back into it again. So, but the cool thing is my mom never got rid of my cards. So my cards stayed with me the whole time. So I've been hauling these cards around for 50 something years.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had all my old cards at my parents' house, and my mom's been hounded me to clean out my closet at home. I'm like, what do you need it for? I was like, what are you worried about my stuff for? You have the whole house to use.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. So now that you're back into it, do you think you're a card addict?
Yeah, I think I have a bit of a problem. Yeah, I probably buy more cards than I should. And I'm like, I really like people that can be focused on what they want to collect. I am like squirrel. I'm all over the board, right? Like I see a card, I love it. Yeah, I'm pretty much addicted to it. My wife knows it. The cool thing is, like, we'll go out for a drive, and she'll say, "Hey, is there a baseball card shop in this town we're going to?" Or, "I see an antique store coming up. You want to stop in and see if they have ball cards?" So, but yeah, I'm pretty much an addict to it. It reminds me, I'm back to where I was when I was a kid. I loved these things when I was a kid, and now
Yeah.
I'm a little older and I'm collecting them again. How about you?
Yeah, I would say probably it's hard to put a number on how many hours probably a day. Either I'm thinking about cards, shopping for cards, watching YouTube videos about cards. Um, I would probably put it at 2 to 3 hours. If I had to, it's kind of hard to how much time you think about something, but it's pretty bad. I would say.
I watch a lot of video. I used to read a lot of sports books, and now I spend so much time watching other people's channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it completely.
The thing I've been really like I saw Chris from Missouri the other day had a video where he bought some Red Heart cards, and he's talking about them as an investment, and
Yeah.
he's gonna sell them and stuff. And my big transformations really occurred since I've watched so much content. I'm really, like you said, I'm starting to learn from all the other people and the knowledge they're giving and stuff like that. And like it's enabled me to, like, there was a guy at our church who found out I like cards, and he asked for my help selling them. And like it really, like, it's created a situation where me being more of an expert on things has allowed me to give myself more hobby funds, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's perfectly normal. So
No, I agree. One of the things I plan on doing, I just don't know how I want to do it. Like I said, I just grab stuff. So, like, 1970 Reggie Jackson, I just got one graded. I have three others that aren't graded, right? It's time to sell those three, right? Or if I think my grade is good enough, it's time to sell the other three and take those funds and start to look at, because the one thing I don't have, Theo, is I don't have a lot of 1950s cards. So, I like to collect Clemente and Aaron. Those 50s cards are the expensive ones. So if I take 100 cards that I have duplicate and I sell them, and it allows me to buy one or two cards that I really want, then why not, right?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, like you said, you may as well leverage what you know and stuff like that. I think the part that gets tricky for me is if I see a really good value of something I feel on, like, YouTube or at a card show now, like I'm like, I could flip that and get like 20%, and I'm like, like that's probably not the situation you want to go after. You probably want to go after more situations where you see something at a garage sale for dirt cheap and you flip that. But it's very tempting sometimes whenever you feel like you can make a profit on something to use it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a lot of work to sell cards, So, I mean, I'm thinking about, quite honestly, and I've seen both B. Roth and Paparazzi. They've used Greg Morris cards before to help sell their cards, and I know they take a pretty good chunk of it, but they take
Yeah.
all the work out of it too, right? So at the end of the
Mhm.
day, I'm thinking about that, but I haven't really figured out how I want to sell the cards yet. But I do know that I probably have about 100 to 120 cards that I've got duplicates of that I'm ready to put out in the market again.
Yeah, I think Greg Morris is a good choice because they just seem to go for 15 to 20% higher than other eBay stores. I just think that's a smart move personally.
They do when I'm bidding, that's for sure.
I, and it always feels like they make the, like they put what they feel the score, like near mint,
Yeah.
whatever. They always put it on there, and I always feel like they grade one grade higher. Like I feel like the person, they're like, all right, if it's VG, put it at mint, and like I'm like this card does not look near mint. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but
Yeah, I feel that they're pretty good about. I think you're going to get a card in that range, but they're a little generous on their near.
yeah. Yes, I agree. So one thing we have a lot in common is the love for SGC as a grading company. So you've done if nobody's watched any of Steve's grading videos, he's got, I don't know, 6 or 7 grading videos now on his channel, and they're really good. And so so why do you love SGC so much?
So it's funny, when I first started, like I when I first got back in, I only knew about PSA because that's what everybody used, right? And it was right at COVID, and they were just so backed up and I wanted it. Almost all of my cards are ungraded, so I'm in the process of trying to get them graded. I'm bummed that I missed the $8 to $10 grading windows,
Yeah, me too. I
but
know.
when I was looking at those cards, I suddenly looked at the SGC tuxedo, and it just popped. And I asked my sister, not my sister, I asked my youngest daughter, which of these two do you like better? And she said, I like the black one a lot better. So in my mind, I thought that, and I know PSA has this foothold on the grading industry, and it's mostly around the registry. But I tend to believe that cards look better in the SGC slab. I like their service, and I'm not going to sell these like this. My kids might have they might sell them for 20% later when I'm gone. But right now, I do believe SGC will close some of the price gap, but I just love the way they look. I think they look fantastic in that black slab.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of like other collectors, I kind of felt like I needed to pick one and go with it. I didn't really want to have the Frankenstein collection as much as I could prevent it when I send my own cards in. I've bought some PSA slabs for some cards already slabbed before for Dick Grode and some other players I really like. But Clemente, I try to avoid having to buy a PSA slab and then crossing it over. I just don't want to deal with the headache, to be honest. So, cool, man. Well, I gave you some pre-prepared questions as I usually do to get some cards being shown here. So, the first one I told you was what's your favorite player to collect and why? And if you want to show some cards.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you've watched my channel, you know my favorite player is Henry Aaron. Clemente is a close second, but I'm a Henry Aaron fan. And I'm a Henry Aaron fan because when I was growing up in the late 60s and early 70s, he was making that run for Babe Ruth, right? And I was a Dodger fan, and the Dodger teams in those days weren't so great. So it was easy to be an Aaron fan. As a matter of fact, I was telling Dom in a chat the other day, I remember watching the game where he hit the home run to break Babe Ruth's record. So I've always been a Henry Aaron fan, always kind of like the Braves. Here's my latest pickup. Hopefully I can get it out of the glare there for you.
Yeah, let me see if I can get you on solo mode too. There you go.
This is a 1955 Aaron, so it's a second year Aaron. Got some paper loss on the back, but I shared that on my last video, and I also picked this one up, the All-Star card. And I'm not sure if this glare is really bad, Theo, so you got to check it out here. But I think these All-Star cards are underrated. I think they're like the league leader cards. I think they're really underrated. And here's one that I haven't even shown on my channel yet, Theo.
Oh, wow. Exclusive.
This is a reveal. I just got this card in.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Aaron cards, and I bought it slabbed. It's a little off center, but the picture is just fantastic. And so I just got that. I'm trying to make the Aaron run. I'm about 9 cards away from getting it done. But, 4 of those 9 are 54, 57, 58, and 59.
Yeah,
so it's going to cost some money.
That was if somebody out there is watching it for some reason doesn't know, that one is a 61 that he just showed. So that's one of my favorites too. I love that card.
Yeah, I love the 61 set. What other thing I'm trying to do is kind of a little side run is from the 60s is try to get one of Aaron, Clemente, and Mays.
Nice.
Because those, for me, like that's the epitome of my childhood and what I collected. Those were the 3 best players when I was there growing up, hands down. And I mean, and Mays I collect the least of because he's a Giant and I'm a Dodger fan. But doesn't mean he's not a great player. It just means I don't have as many of his cards as I do Clemente and Aaron.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's why I enjoy player collecting so much, is because I can see a range of 15 years of top cards and only have to buy one of each, or what I mean. And players that are more set collectors, like, you're only seeing that one set at the time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously they collect mini sets, but depending on your budget. You know what I mean? So
I don't have the patience to collect sets. I have some sets that are already like I have a full 79 set and a full 80 set, and but
nice.
to collect like a 60 set, which I'm impressed with people who do, I don't have the patience for that. I'll start wandering off into other years, and I'm more of a Hall of Fame collector. I like to collect the Hall of Famers and or the stars when I was growing up.
Nice. I get it. So the next one was show a card with a lot that's worth a lot more than when you bought it, was the question.
Okay. I've got three actually, so I will show them. This one you should enjoy.
Oh, nice. Six
Yeah.
too. Jeez.
Yeah, it's a six. I have two sixes. I bought one for $200, and I bought this one at an antique mall for $32.
No way.
Yeah, so that one is really appreciated. This is the most I've ever spent on a card here. It's in a PSA slab. It is a Don Drysdale rookie card, graded at a 7. And I've never shown this before on my channel, so you're getting two premieres here.
Wow.
I bought this Don Drysdale right before COVID in an antique store for $350.
Already graded?
Already graded.
Okay.
At a 7, and it's probably worth $600 to $700 today. It's almost doubled in value.
Wow.
But if in the true essence of what has been, which card is more valuable since I first bought it, it would be this card right here. It's my Dr. J rookie card. And the reason is this is one of the cards that I pulled pack fresh in 1972 as a kid. So back then you could buy packs at 10 cents, you get 10 cards. So this card I bought for a penny in essence, and I've got a card that's, probably $500-600 card here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are the three that I bought that have gone up. Everybody's got these are the gone up ones. I've had a few that I bought that went the other way, but
yeah, I mean, we've been buying in a weird time, so
we have, yeah.
Vintage hasn't been as bad as modern has, but did you since you collect basketball cards, did you ever get tempted into the Michael Jordan rookie chase, or did you ever have one in your lifetime or anything like that?
No, I have a lot of Michael Jordan cards. I probably have about 12 or 13 of his cards that I haven't graded. I will eventually. Don't have his rookie. I kicked myself, right? When I said I got back in the late 80s, I wasn't smart enough to try to grab a Jordan or a Kobe, right? I don't have his rookie card, and they're really expensive now, as you know. But do you have a Jordan rookie? I know you have a Jordan collection.
No, I don't have a Jordan rookie. The thing is, when I started collecting, it was like 91, okay. And I never really. I was always collecting, basically, if you want to say modern, whatever you want to call it. I was always collecting the current sets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I never really, I never went back. Like I said, I didn't really even look at vintage at all. Like I just thought it was so expensive. I didn't even waste. I felt like I would waste my time looking at old cards. So I didn't even look at it at at the flea market or anything. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, mantles were expensive even then, right? So,
yeah.
But not nowhere near today. But I know what you mean. When you're younger and you're collecting, you're usually taking that year and you're looking for the star players of that time. You don't think about going back. You wish, in retrospect, you could, but
So, not to put you on the spot, but if you had to guess, and I'll give my answer first, so you can think about it. Like, we're talking about the Michael Jordan card now. If we would have thought about it in 92, if you had to guess, is there a card right now that's attainable, or whatever word you want to use, in 10 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, I could have got 5 of those, or I could have got a couple of those, and now it's 10 times that value. And if you want to think about that, my answer is actually Willie Mays rookie card is actually and I know that's not a real, attainable for everybody card, a couple $1,000s, but I feel like that could be like a $10,000 card, depending on the grade you have and stuff like that, obviously is how valuable it would cost. But I feel like that's a card that's going to skyrocket in 10 years personally. Well, Do you have a thought on it, or do you ever think about stuff like that?
Yeah, what I think about is, and I don't want it to be morbid, right? But Willie Mays is going to pass away soon, and his
Right.
cards are valuable now. And when he does pass away, they're going to be even more valuable, right? And there are other players like that, like Abdul-Jabbar or Jerry West in the basketball world. They're just all-time great players. And like I have Kareem's second through fourth year. I don't have his rookie card. It's on, but I believe his rookie card is undervalued. I also think football's really, really undervalued. Like vintage football, like a Roger Staubach rookie card, or even some of the Jim Brown cards. I think compared to where baseball is for the all-time greats, football's a place to invest in today if you're just thinking about investing.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw's very, very cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool. So the next one was show a card from one of your favorite sets, and why is it your favorite set?
Well, I showed the Clemente of it, so I'll show the Aaron of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I like a lot of sets. So if I were to get into like the 50s, I would probably go 54, 55. In the 60s, it's 60 and 65. But the reason I love 71, I'm just really attracted to black borders, and it's also probably the second set I ever collected as a kid. So it's just one that I'm drawn to. So
yeah.
I collect them. I can't pass on a 1951. I just can't. If it's there, here's the other one. Here's the second 6 on the Clemente. I was hoping for this one to come in at a 7, but it came in at a 6.
Holy smokes! Wow, I got a 4. I'm gonna have to meet you at the National and trade up and give you some cash.
I was thinking about it might be time to get rid of one of those in order to once again to buy a different card, right? So yeah,
that's pretty awesome. I think I got mine. I got my 4 for $120 counting shipping, which was like 2 years ago. And I mean, they're pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what they're still going for 4s right now. So I'm sure that the 6 is probably, I'm guessing 220, 250 range.
I think it's in the 3 to 4 range, believe it or not.
Wow.
But it's hard to say, right? Because when I went on so what I do is I have a little spreadsheet, and every once in a while I go on eBay and I take the latest sale and the average sale. So it fluctuates, right?
I have the same thing. I have all my cards on a spreadsheet, and every once in a while I'm just like, oh, like let's see, is this looking bad for me right now?
Yeah.
And like somebody, one of my friends said, well, why are you doing that? You told me you're keeping your cards pretty much, forever. And I said, well, if you live in a house, and even if you're not going to sell that house, do you still go on like Zillows and stuff and check how much your house is worth? Like I do. Like, I don't know. It's still nice to like know that you've spent money wisely. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, or your collecting may change. Like Shane, right? He just recently sold some of his cards that he doesn't want anymore. Yeah. And he's buying different cards, but you got to know the value of the ones you own if you're going to make that transition. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I've seen many guys pivot. I mean, Orlando's a perfect example of somebody who's pivoted that has been in the hobby forever, and he's still with a mature collection, he still decided to do some pivoting, not completely, but he changed some things up. So I think it's natural to happen. So
it's easy to pivot when you have a sick collection like Orlando. Oh man, that's a sick collection.
I know, but hey, he sold some really nice. Oh. He sold some really nice stuff. That has to be tough still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he sold his. I think it was that 1970 basketballs, and they were gorgeous. I remember when he put that video out. I was drooling, and my only regret is I couldn't afford to make him an offer because they were gorgeous cards.
I know
it would be hard. That's where I struggle. It would be hard for me to get rid of anything. I'm just like,
yeah, I mean, selling a duplicate to me isn't really, that's not hard at all. Like I'm not into having duplicates. So, but when you have something and you don't have another one, it's like that's when it's hard for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I'm there. I'm locked and loaded.
So so let's do a controversial topic with the 71 set. Is the O-Pee-Chee 71 top set better than the United States version?
I do not own an O-Pee-Chee version.
Yes.
But the answer is yes. I mean, they're more rare. The backs are cooler. So
Yeah.
yeah, I 100%. The answer is yes. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I do. The back. I mean, the front's the same. I don't think there's anything different. And the back is so sweet on the O-Pee-Chees. I gotta agree. That's one of those. I don't plan on getting all the O-Pee-Chee Clementes. I mean, that could change, but that's one of the O-Pee-Chee Clementes that I would really love to own.
That's my favorite Clemente card. I think the 71. I mean, and that's hard to say because Clemente may have the best looking run of cards of any player because all his cards are fantastic. But I love the 71 card. Love it.
Yeah, it's my favorite too. So, all right. The next topic was what's your most under and what's your most overgraded card in your collection? So that should be interesting.
Yeah, well, under is hard. Like if you've seen some of my videos, I've had some that have come back. I've been a little disappointed. This is one of them, right? This is my my rookie card for Yastrzemski, and it came back an A.
Wow.
It came back. It said it didn't meet the minimum requirement. So that's where I struggle. I don't believe it was trimmed. I do believe it had a little water damage. I would love to have seen this one get a grade because it's a beautiful card when you look at it. This card, my Joe Morgan rookie card, if you saw the video when I did that, I was really disappointed in this one because I thought this was a 7 and it came back a 5. And I'm not 100% sure why. It's got great centering. Picture looks fantastic. I don't see any scratches on it. So that one, that's one. And then the third one is another one of my favorite, and I know it's not one of your favorite Clementes, but I love this card, and I thought this card was going to be a 7. Came back a 5.5, so it's undergraded in my opinion, and I want to come back to that. I'll go into my overgraded, but
all right.
I have 2 cards that I believe are overgraded. One is the opposite of that Clemente is this Clemente. It's the 1960 that came back a 4. I thought this was a 2 to a 3, Theo, and it went in with the same set as this Maze, and this Maze is a half point less than the Clemente, and if you put them side by side, it's not even close. The Maze is such a much better looking card than the Clemente. So either the Clemente is overgraded or the Maze is undergraded or both, right?
Yeah.
And then there's this last one I wanted to just share. I picked up this really early. This is a 6 Henderson rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, if it went in today, it'd be lucky to get a 4. It is so off-centered, front and back. And I tend to think, and this is one of the things about these cards nowadays, grading is, I tend to think older cards were graded more lenient than they're being graded today, right? The 5s and 6s and 7s of 10 years ago are the 3s and 4s and 5s of today. So I wonder how that's going. And I know it's by the card, not the grade. I'm a fan of that, and I agree with it. But we also all played a lot of sports, and we're pretty competitive. And when I have a card that I think should be a 7. So back to these cards, my question is, and
wait, real quick. I was gonna say, first off, with the undergraded, like the Joe Morgan, you know what paparazzi would do? He would break that out and resend it on the next order.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking on all 3 of those cards. And I also have a 72 Wilt Chamberlain. Do I pop them and resubmit them to SGC to see if I get a better grade? Do I see if that Yastrzemski slides through this time and gets me a 1, 2, or a 3, right? Or do I get a 6 or a 7? I might experiment that because that is what but paparazzi would send them to a different grading company most likely. I don't want to send them to PSA, but right. I'm thinking about doing that experiment. So I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I'm going to buy the card, not the grade guy. But I got these cards that I think are just undergraded, and it's eating at me, man. It's eating at me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your Henderson example. I think when we're buying online, obviously we should be looking at the grade as you said, but you really have to look at that cert number and see when it was graded. Right, like you
Yeah.
said, it's a different environment right now.
Yeah.
I really feel like the grading companies are trying to control the pop reports as best as they can, not let anything get crazy. Um, but my suggestion with the Henderson, to be honest with you, is I would do a classic Dylan. I would first find a 4 in either SGC or PSA that looks great. I would buy it in hand, and then I would list the PSA 6 because somebody's going to have a registry and they're only getting 6s or 7s, and they're gonna pay way over what you're going to pay for the 4 or the 5. I think you should think about it.
So I have a raw version of the Henderson that I think is going to grade around a 5, and it's going to look great in an SGC slab. And when it comes back, that's going to be one of the first ones I turn, because I won't have a need for that. And to your point, somebody that wants to just fill out a registry,
Yeah,
might pay me for it. So yeah,
exactly.
it's going to be interesting. I tend to think that 4, 5s, and 6s are going to continue to become more valuable because the average budget is getting priced out of especially on the rookie cards of the 50s or the valuable cards of the 50s. I mean, I don't know about you, but like dropping 1,500 to $2,000 for a card is not really something I do. So
No, I don't either. I only have one Kalma card in my collection, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. So
it's a beauty too.
no, thanks, man. Thanks. All right. So you wanted to talk about 72. What did you want to say about 72? I'm sorry. You brought up the Clemente 72 card, and you wanted to say something about it.
What I was saying is exactly where you went. I'm thinking to crack these bad boys and send them back in, and I don't know if I'm crazy or not. But
so you like the 72 Clemente better than the 73 Clemente, I assume, since you like it so much?
I do, yeah.
Oh man, 73 is just so class. I mean, on top of it, it's his last card.
Yeah.
I think that adds a little bit to the mystique of it. But I love the 73. It's one of my favorites.
I love the 73 also. For me, the 72, it's kind of cool because I think they just caught him in a different moment. He's tossing a ball up. He just, I know you think that's silly. I think it just kind of looks, it's just a different pose for me, and I liked it. But
yeah,
I can't think of a Clemente card I don't like. So
no, I understand. I feel like that both of those cards sell because they're 70s cards, I guess, but I'm guessing the population is really high, but both of those cards sell, like, they're very, very affordable. If there's somebody out there who wants to start collecting some Clementes, 72 and 73 are two great places to start, in my opinion.
They're the best places to start. You're right, because his cards get progressively more expensive if you start going down the ladder, right?
Exactly. Cool, man. I got the 10 questions in a minute. Did you study for it? Are you ready?
I was gonna study for it, and then I thought he's gonna throw me a curveball, and let's just go for it. So, right. Are you sure your game timer's right? Because every game I own, our minute timer never works.
No, this is sand. This is sand. They counted it. It's good. Hey, actually, I think the last 3 episodes, all 3 guys have beat the timer. So this is going to be very bad. You're going to look very slow out here.
I know.
All right. I'll give you the first question and I'll start it, okay?
Got it.
All right. What's your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Best Netflix program?
Ozark.
Sports hero growing up?
Henry Aaron.
An underrated American city?
San Francisco.
If you had a time machine, would you go to the future or the past?
I go to the past and get some baseball cards.
Favorite sport to play as an adult?
It's golf now. I'm too old to play anything else.
Best 60s top set? Baseball.
Wow, it's 60 or 65? 60.
Best movie of all time?
Godfather 2.
Who's the best baseball player ever?
Henry Aaron.
Who wins it in a fight? Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee.
You did it. Nice.
That was fun. I was getting close. I was watching that clock go down. I'm like, holy, holy.
I also like Ozark. I think that's a great choice. I thought that was a great show.
I love Netflix. Ozark, Pinky Binders. I don't know if you ever watched that.
No.
Yeah, that's a great show. My wife and I tend to binge watch shows like that, and then you get bummed when you get caught up at the end, right?
Yeah. 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 It's like I've seen shows go too long and you're like they should have quit, and then like you have the opposite. So sometimes I think they might pick the perfect time whenever you want more and it's just gone. But yeah, that's probably what makes it a great show.
Yeah, no, it does. It's like The Sopranos, right? It ran its course. It was a great show, but they didn't drag it on too long.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's all I had on the agenda, man. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about before I do the closing here?
No, I just want to say thanks once again. I appreciate you having me on. I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of your channel. You crack me up. I love, by the way, you and Mangini going at it last week when you ripped the sleeves off your shirt, man. One of the funniest things I've seen. I'm still laughing at it. So,
Awesome.
no, I appreciate it. I look forward to I know you're coming to the National. It's like 30 minutes from my house. The only issue I have, it's the same weekend that my youngest daughter turns 21 and she may be in Ohio in an internship. So
No.
provided I'm not out of town, I look forward to shaking your hand live.
Oh, you told me I could room at your house for the National to save money. What happened to that?
I'll leave a key under the mat, even if I'm not there. I'll leave a key under the mat. Some beer in the fridge, man.
Explain that to your wife. Hey, some stranger from Pittsburgh sleeping here. You don't have to worry about it. That'd be great. Man. But Steve, you got a great channel. I think you could see you had a great first year. You're almost at 300 subs already. I think everybody sees how genuine you are, how nice of a guy you are. I think you were one of the first people to ever send me a care package, and I really appreciated that. And I put it with all my Pirates cards in a binder. So I appreciate you doing that. And if somebody out there isn't subscribed to Steve, I think you should go check out his channel and maybe start with some of his SGC reveal videos because they're really cool. And you got a great collection, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Theo. Take care, man.
All right, man. I'll see you.